Welcome back to Roosevelt Live. We're moving on to the next topic. The next topic is a story out of Mississippi where a guy named Curtis Flowers is facing his sixth murder trial. He was tried earlier. He had they arrested him back in 1996 in a small town in Mississippi that they accused him of killing 4 people by execution style, shooting them in the head. The owner of the furniture store and 3 of her workers, 3 whites and 1 black. And basically, what's going on? I'm not sure if the guy committed the crime or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's unprecedented to hear someone is going through the 6th time the same trial. The first 3 trials was even though he was convicted, he was found guilty on 2 of those occasions, but they was all thrown out because the higher court said that it was a prosecutor misconduct, it was tampering with information evidence, and I don't know why the prosecutor would do that if they have a true case on this guy. I mean, if he's guilty, then I'm having a problem with someone's on their 6th time around trying to find this guy guilty of the same 4 murders. Now, obviously, if those are your family members, you want somebody, either it's him or whomever, to pay for the crime of executing 4 people. But if he didn't do it, which at this point they seem to have circumstantial evidence because there was no DNA, the weapon was never found, so they don't have anything but circumstantial evidence, they say, to connect him to the crime. But I guess because his bail was so high, the guy literally has been in jail since January 1997. So he's been in jail 13 years, still being tried for the same crime. Now, I've never heard of somebody doing that many times, because normally what happens is that after the 2nd time, they'll check and see what they'll pull the jury, and if they find out that it's half and half, then they know the retry was pretty much a waste of time because the best they got was 50%. Now, if they find out, it's 11-1 or something like that, maybe you retry because it was only 1 holdout. But in this case, on the 4th go-around, they had a hung jury on the 4th go-around. And basically what happened was 6 of the black jurors voted to acquit, 7 of the white jurors voted to convict. Now, you tell me, what does that mean? Does that mean that the black jurors didn't want to find him guilty because he was black? Does that mean that the white jurors wanted to find him guilty because he was black? I don't know which way it actually goes. I just know that it is more than ironic for the people to line up on color sides, because that's basically what happened. All the blacks line up as innocent, and all the whites wind up as guilty. And so that is somewhat concerning to see something like this happening. On the 5th go-around, apparently, there were only 1 black person on the jury, and that was the only holdout. Everybody else voted guilty. They were non-black. I don't know what color they were. I just know they wasn't black. They all voted guilty. He was the only one who voted innocent or voted to acquit. Then the prosecutor actually charged him with prejudice, and then even though that's not sound like a charge, but that's what it says. But they accused him of being prejudiced. Let's put it that way. And then they wound up just dropping that. It was dismissed. And so now we're at number 6. And I guess it's getting ready to get on its way eventually. And I'm wondering what's going to happen, because apparently the prosecutor probably need to be replaced, because if that prosecutor cannot get a conviction after all these times, then that is a negative on the prosecutor's office. There's no way someone should be going through the same trial over and over and over and over. Not only are you wasting taxpayers' dollars, but I never heard of someone actually sitting in jail for 13 years, waiting to decide. By the time they do convict him, you almost be about to get out for time served, unless he's got life without parole. Then of course there is no time served. I would imagine it would still be life no matter what. But I'm just curious. I never heard of that before. I was wondering about it. A lot of people was discussing it, and it's always that old dreaded head of the race always comes up. I don't think that every time something wrong, it has anything to do with race, of course, but a lot of people always draw that line in the sand. And they always say this is the problem. Of course, they drew the line on both sides. People were saying on one side that the prosecutor being white and the majority of people was killed was white. Therefore, they're attacking him. They're coming after him repeatedly. And I do say 6 times is a lot of times. And maybe they need a new prosecutor. Maybe whoever over the prosecutor, the state attorney, whoever is in charge over there, need to get a new system in place because no one should be being tried 6 times for the same crime. Now, obviously, you can try people many times you want for murder. There's no statute of limitations on murder. It's not like he's going to just pop up one day and say, oh, yeah, I did it. I mean, unless you got a double jeopardy going, which is not going to happen, I'm sure. Well, if he did get convicted and then or be found innocent and jumped up and say, well, I did it, he would be a fool, even though he couldn't be tried again for those murders or, well, because it would be double jeopardy. But I think that in the future, we need to look at how many times can a person be tried. I would not want to see my tax dollar continue. I mean, it's been 13 years of the same stuff. I mean, you averaging, one trial a year. And I'm surprised the residents of Mississippi didn't say, or didn't become an uproar and say you need to dismantle the entire prosecutor's office and start all over again because apparently somebody there is incompetent. There's no doubt in my mind you would have to be incompetent. And this guy's trying it again. And my understanding is the same prosecutor. And what new evidence do we have? Because apparently, out of all the other time, somebody was cheating. Because according to the higher courts, someone definitely was having prosecutor misconduct. So why would he do that if he's got an airtight case? You assume he just do the case and hope to find the guy guilty. Being that it's 4 people that's been killed, 4 families that's been damaged, maybe wives, husbands, girlfriend, boyfriend, sisters, brothers, etc., etc. So you don't want to let a guilty person walk free for taking the lives of 4 people. But also, if you got 13 years of trying to convict someone, you make it a mockery of the system, in my opinion. It's actually embarrassing. I'm glad I don't live in that area. I don't live in that state nor in that small town because the town only had a population of about 5,500 people back in 1996. And I understand the population dropped down even less than that since then, maybe due to the murders, maybe due to the division among the races. I'm not sure what's causing the population drop, but definitely it has started to drift downward. And I'm wondering where they're going to get their people from. Are they going to go outside the area and try to get new people? Or in one case, they had dismissed a black female from the jury because they said her opinion on the death penalty, but then they found out that there were some white people in the jury that had the same opinion she had, and they didn't get dismissed from the jury. So it's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of people pointing fingers, be it right or wrong. We don't want to lose sight of the fact that 4 families has been destroyed forever. And either he did it or he didn't. But somewhere down the line, you got to stop wasting the taxpayer dollars repeatedly over and over and over again. If I was there, I would be screaming to the top of my lungs saying, fire the prosecutor, get a new face in here, get a whole new crew in there. Because apparently the entire prosecutor's offices somewhat don't know what they're doing. So that's just my opinion. I'm not sure whether or not you've ever heard of the case. I'm not sure if you even care about it because it seems to me, and it's not on purpose, but a lot of these topics keep coming back to race. And when I'm thinking about them, I say, wow, why is it that we keep saying that racism in this country is getting better, but when I run across repeated things that's come right back to race over and over and over again, and I have to think at some point that race relations is not as good as we would want it to be, or as good as we think it is, or as good as we telling ourselves it is. I think there's still some major problems in this country, and sometimes it's hidden away, it's deeply rooted. Obviously, it's not overt like it used to be. Obviously, it's more covert these days, but it's there, and it keeps raising its head in different subjects, and different scenarios, and different cases. And I think this is one of them that clearly there are some problems, and someone is inadequate. This guy might be guilty, and I don't want to see him go free. But if he isn't guilty, it would be a travesty to be tried someone 6 times and not able to get over the hump. I don't think I've heard of that in any case in the United States where someone has keep being tried over and over again for the same crimes and coming up empty. I mean, that's just my opinion. You can tell me what your opinions are. You can tell me whether or not you think what I'm saying is absolutely off the wall. You can tell me that you agree with me 100%. You can tell me that you've had some of the similar scenarios in your life about people doing things to you and that you felt was unfair. Either way it go, just simply send me out an email. Let me know your opinion at liveroosevelt@gmail.com, or go out and check out the segments of the show. The about 6 weeks of shows out there now, parts of them anyway. So check it out on youtube.com/Roosevelt Live. Give me your opinions. I just gave you mine.